Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Hello.
Okay, cool. So we have one, two, three, four, five, six participants. Okay, fine. I think we'll get started. So a wonderful evening, everyone. Thank you for joining this initial demonstration class for security testing. Let me give a quick overview about my profile and also about the course description. Let me also share the screen so that you guys can go through the curriculum as well. Joe, let me know if my screen share is visible for all of you.
Yeah, we can see that.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, so let me give a quick overview about my profile so that you understand who is the trainer and everything. So my name is Kiran and I'm the trainer for the security testing course. And as you can see on the website, we have the entire details over here. But let me introduce myself. So I come with close to 2 decades of experience on the software testing side, having my expertise spread across multiple areas of software testing, starting from the automation testing of front-end applications using tools like Selenium, Catalan Studio, and then automation testing of the backend RESTful APIs or GraphQL APIs, SOAP APIs, using tools like Postman, REST Assured, SOAP UI, Ready API, Catalan Studio, Tailend. And then my expertise also span across performance testing using tools like Gatling and Jmeter. And of course, my expertise is also on the security testing, where I deal security testing at the API layer, at the web application layer, at the mobile apps layer, and a little bit on the network port level testing as well, and also on the source code level. And I also deal with non-functional testing areas such as accessibility testing. So I'm already doing a batch after this demo is completed. So 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. we have an accessibility testing batch that just got started 3 days back. Then on the DevOps side, I do trainings on GitHub, GitLab, Jenkins, and Bitbucket. So these are the areas where I have hands-on trainings for corporates, for students and employees like this through public batches. And I help mostly the organizations in setting up their testing center of excellence, testing competencies, and testing practices on all these automation areas that I have listed. Okay, that's a very high level introduction about my profile. Now let's come back to the course for which you guys have evinced some interest. So this is security testing masterclass where we are going to understand the top 10 OWASP vulnerabilities. So I won't be sticking only to top 10. I'll go beyond the top 10 as well in this course, wherein we will be testing the applications for all types of vulnerabilities. When I say applications, we look at web applications. We pick up even RESTful APIs and SOAP APIs. We also look at some Android apps, and we also do the port level scanning. And finally, we also look at the source code and identify the vulnerabilities at the source code layer as well, which typically we call it as SAST, static application security testing at the code level. And when you do it at the application level, we call it as DAST, which is dynamic application security testing. Okay, so that's at a very high level. And some basic questions that every person has, like what is the duration of the course? What are the timings? So let me also answer that before we go to the course introduction, course curriculum, and then a lot of Q&A from you guys to me, right? As you can see on the website, the duration of this course is like 1 month, Monday to Friday, and the timings are same as now, which means 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Indian Standard Timings, IST, every day 1 hour, only from Monday to Friday. No classes on Saturdays and Sundays. All the trainings do get recorded, and the participants will be given the recorded access, and the access is for lifetime. I will also help you with the notes that's related to security testing. and you can download the notes and keep it on your personal drive as well. And so far, when it comes to security testing, we have done nothing less than 10 batches until now, I would say. And we have got some good feedback in terms of increasing the coverage, plus in terms of what has been covered, how the participant felt, and what is their skill set before the course and after the course. So we've got a lot of constructive feedback. We have got some good, fantastic feedback. People have got certain opportunities in certain countries as well with the help of this course, right? Okay, so coming to, so let me also give uh, 1 second. Let me just, yeah. So this is where you guys can see the entire course curriculum. So let me give it on the chat. And the timings are 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. IST, Monday to Friday. Okay. And class recordings will be provided. And Google Drive, where the training material is there, which I have prepared, will also be provided. Okay. So on this website, you can go through about my profile, can go through our previous demos classes as well, in case if you are missing today. And yeah, so coming to the prerequisites of this course, right? Like who all can attend this course, and how it makes it easier for you to attend this course, right? So any person who has basic understanding of software testing knowledge is enough to attend this course. There is no mandatory requirements such as you have to come from a programming language background. So you don't have to be a programmer at all. Even if you say, I don't know even ABCD of coding, that's still absolutely okay, because we don't have to code it while doing security testing in this particular course with all the tools that I'm teaching. And some basic understanding about client and server architecture. What is a client? What is a server? Basic understanding about what is an API, how do we use APIs, and the protocol level HTTP, HTTPS, and different HTTP methods such as get, post, put, patch, delete. This basic understanding is important for you to be part of this course. In case if you are enrolling and you are not aware of certain things, you have to let me know at the beginning so that tomorrow itself I'll be able to answer those questions, right? Because we assume that participants come with the basic knowledge to attend this course. Nevertheless, when there are questions, people can definitely ask and answers will pour in. You can see some feedback that we have received from the previous batch. And like, what is the takeaway of this particular course? At the end of this course, what is that you will be able to happily write in your resume or in your job interviews, right? So let me help you understand that. So you're going to understand the top 10, or I would say you're going to understand the overall security testing concepts and understand the differences or the different terminology such as vulnerabilities, threats, common vulnerability exposures, CVEs, CVSS, which is common vulnerability scoring system. Then you'll be able to understand what is vulnerability assessment, what is penetration testing, what is security testing. You'll have perfect understanding about all these terminologies practically as well. Then another learning objective or takeaway is you are going to have practical understanding about top 10 OWASP vulnerabilities, in fact, more than top 10 as well. Okay, I've given some examples here like SQL injection, cross-site scripting, HTML injection. Then we have shared servers, vulnerability. Then we have IDOR attacks, broken authentication attacks, JSON web token abuse attacks, broken access control attacks, and so forth. So many attacks are there. So you're going to have not only theoretical but practical understanding, because this course is 90% practical training, only 10% being theory. Okay. And you're going to be having hands-on experience on how to exploit certain vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities are nothing but those threats or those dangerous issues or bugs that you find in your application from a security perspective. And we're going to use multiple tools like Burp Suite is one such tool I'm using. Wookie is another tool. Network Mapper is another tool. ZenMap is another tool that we are going to use. Any question, guys? Please go on mute. Okay, then we'll also take some sample vulnerable applications from the internet. We'll download and install them. And of course, no harm will happen to your computer because they're all safe. Only from vulnerabilities detection perspective, we call them as vulnerable applications, but nothing happens to your computer. So we're going to work with a lot of applications, like I've mentioned here. Juice Shop is one such application. WebGoat is another such application, and then a banking application called Altoro Mutual, and a few more applications. You're also going to get perfect understanding of the Nmap tool, which is one of the very popular tools, network mapper tool, and which is a command line interface tool, and also Zenmap, which is a Windows interface tool, which can be used for performing port level scanning. Then for finding the vulnerabilities for RESTful APIs and SOAP APIs, there are tools like Wookie tool, which we are going to use. When it comes to mobile apps like Android security testing, we use tools like Yazini, Dex2Jar, Java decompiler, GUI tool as well. And when we have to go through the code level scanning, we use tools like Sneak, which comes under SAST thing. Okay, so these are your learning objectives by the end of this course. And like I said here, you will get live recorded videos access lifetime. You'll also get a course completion certificate from Isha Training Solutions. And who can enroll in this course? Like I have told you the prerequisites, basic understanding of APIs, protocols. Guys, please go on mute. I'm getting an echo. Thank you. Okay, and then we'll talk about core syllabus. Now, before I move to core syllabus, anyone has any questions to me until this point? Do you have any general questions that you want to ask now? Feel free to ask me now before I walk through the course curriculum.
Hey Kiran, Srini here. Will you be able to cover the basics of cloud security as well?
Okay, cloud security unfortunately is not part of our course. Because cyber security, when we talk about cyber security, there are so many angles, there are so many perspectives to it. So the ones that I'm not covering are OS level security, cloud security, because that itself is a very detailed course, which we have to go through a cloud service provider again. Because for your requirement, again, if I go in the AWS direction, the training is different. If I go in Azure direction, the training is different. If I go again from Google Cloud, the training is different. If I talk about on-premise data centers, then the training is different. So I thought that cannot be embedded into this training program, given that we have only 28 hours of overall training or 30 hours of overall training. So unfortunately, I'm sorry, Srini, but that's not part of the course. Okay. Any other questions from anyone else? Okay. Okay, let's quickly go through the course curriculum so you guys again understand what is that I'm going to explain. Right. So chapter 1, so wherever you see this hands-on exercise, it's an evidence that there is some practicals present in that particular training that you guys can also participate after the class is completed. So chapter 1 introduces you to the world of OWASP vulnerabilities. So again, for chapter 1, the prerequisite is you have to understand what is an API. You need to understand what is a client, what is a server, right? Wherever there are questions, I'll try to bridge the gap in my trainings as well. So chapter 1 focuses completely on introducing what are those vulnerabilities that OWASP industry is asking us to test. Now, you might say, what is this OWASP, OWASP? It stands for Open Web Application Security Project. So vulnerability is a terminology we use to tell that we have technical threats in the application that we are testing. Right? So in this chapter, you will get to understand all the keywords that we use throughout the training program, like what is a threat, what is a target application, CVSS, CV, etc. We'll talk about all the top 10 vulnerabilities at a theoretical level. And these are the vulnerabilities that I'm going to explain at a theoretical level in chapter 1, and slowly we'll pick one vulnerability and start doing the practicals, which is of course the entire chapter's thing. So these are a few of the vulnerabilities that I'm going to cover. So let me just quickly read it out for you guys. One is sensitive information disclosure. Second one is using vulnerable and outdated components. Third one is related to response headers, where the developers have not configured it correctly or certain response headers are missing, because of which your applications are vulnerable for attacks. Then some insecure designs across your application could be a problem. Open network ports detection is another vulnerability. Server side missing validations, which is one of the very important vulnerability. Then few more: broken access control, SQL injection, cross-site scripting, HTML and injection attacks, IDOR attacks, which is like insecure direct object reference attacks. Then JWT, JSON Web Token attacks, which is related to authentication related attacks. Security misconfigurations, which are found mostly on the production. Then brute force attacks or distributed denial of service attacks, where your website itself goes down. Unrestricted access to sensitive business shows. Then BOLA attack, which is broken object level authorization, broken user authentication, and broken object property level attacks. So these are the attacks that I'm going to explain theoretically and practically starting from chapter 1. Chapter 2 is like, once you understand all the vulnerabilities at a high level, immediately I will help you guys set up all these applications on your computer. Few of them are available online, so you don't have to install it. It's accessible directly on the browser. Few of them you have to set it up locally on your computer. And the beauty of this course is there are certain vulnerabilities where I request the participants to share their screens and I encourage them to do it as I say, so that you will get hands-on experience rather than I myself doing it. So I do a couple of things and I probably volunteer a few people, and so that when they join on their computer, they will be able to do it on their own, and the remaining participants understand how easy it is for them also to start finding vulnerabilities. So chapter 2 becomes mandatory for all the final participants who enroll in the course to have these set up. So I will help you how to set it up by doing it on one of the participants' computers. So please join it on your personal computers, not on your office computers, because if you say on my office computer I cannot install anything, then it won't help in training. So you need to join with a personal laptop. Or if your office laptop has got all the permissions for you, like you have the admin access to install, then definitely happy. So once we install the applications that are needed for our project, we go to chapter 3, where we'll start with port level scanning. So chapter 3 focuses on this layer, open network ports detection, at a practical level, where I'm introducing the tool called Network Mapper tool and another tool called ZenMap tool. So what are we going to do is we are going to detect all the open ports on your project, which is deployed on the which is deployed on the testing environment, right, or on the production environment. What are the open ports? What are the filtered ports? What are the possible problems you might have if you don't, discuss with your developer? So we'll do different types of scans over there. So this is going to be covered through command line interface, like we open the command prompt and do it. Otherwise, if you want a tool interface, then we have ZenMap tool, which we are going to use to do this process. Okay. Then chapter 4 is where we are doing dynamic application security testing. In this chapter 4 talks about, again, introduction to one of the popular tools in the market, which is Burp Suite tool. So we are going to install Burp Suite tool, which won't take much time. Probably 10 minutes of your time is needed to install this tool. And I'll give a quick walkthrough about this tool. What is this tool for? And the architecture of this tool, right? Because this is important from chapter 5 onwards. So what I can do, chapter 4, I will see if I can club it in chapter 2 itself to save some time. Because chapter 4 is just installation and the walkthrough will probably take some detailed class about it. Chapter 5 will start exploring this Burp Suite tool and start attacking all these vulnerabilities. So in chapter 5, we are going to detect most of these vulnerabilities from chapter 5 onwards. So let me show you what is that I have written here. So we're going to set up the Burp Suite environment. I'll show you how to set up the proxy and how to use features in Burp Suite such as intruder, repeater, decoder. Each of these features are necessary to to exploit the top 10 OWASP vulnerabilities, right? So we are going to intercept the traffic coming from the client before it goes to server. You intercept it, you tamper it, and then send it to server to see if server is actually executing it. If server is executing it as it is, after you tamper it, you found the vulnerability. If server is throwing an error, server says you made a mistake, so I'm throwing an error. So server is intelligent, no vulnerability is found. So we'll look at all those things in chapter 5, like how do you drop a request to server, how do you forward a request to server, all those things. And we also have certain plugins in Burp Suite tool, which we can use to test your application. So these are a few of the plugins that I'm going to show you. Chapter 6 talks about the vulnerability assessment testing for the RESTful APIs using a tool called Wookie tool. So we're going to use Wookie tool and we are going to capture attacks like cross-site scripting, SQL injection, and almost all the top 10 vulnerabilities. You are going to do it at API layer as well. Chapter 5 focuses on doing the same top 10 at web applications layer. Okay, that's the difference between chapter 5 and 6. Chapter 6 is dedicated to APIs. Chapter 5 is dedicated to web applications for top 10 OWASP vulnerabilities. Chapter 7 focuses on Android apps. So we'll take one or two Android apps available on the internet. We'll start doing code deobfuscation, which is reverse engineering of the source code. Right, from the executable APK file, we'll see if I can get the source code, which is one of the code deobfuscation vulnerability that we have. We'll also scan the Android APK to see if any top 10 OWASP vulnerabilities can be detected. For that, there are so many tools available. So I'm going to take up a tool called Yazini, Dex2Jar, and Java decompiler tools. Okay, let me take a pause here. Any questions until this point?
Hi, Kiran. Here, Satya here. So,
Yes.
is there any difference between security testing and penetration testing? Are you going to cover pen testing as well?
Yes, I'm going to cover vulnerability assessment and I'm going to cover penetration testing. The combination of these two is called as security testing. So there is no difference from security and penetration. Penetration is part of your security testing.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay. So chapter 7 focuses on Android apps level security testing or penetration testing. Chapter 8 focuses on source code vulnerabilities, which means if the developer says, I have the source code for a particular module in GitHub or GitLab or Bitbucket. So can you do OWASP scanning and tell me if there are vulnerabilities at the source code level? The answer is yes, and chapter 8 is the answer for that, which we call it as SAST, Static Application Security Testing. Okay, so we are going to see that in chapter 8. Right? Yep, and that should bring us towards a closure. So if you see, chapter 8 focuses on code level, chapter 7 focuses on Android apps. Not only Android, I will also talk about few of the iOS apps as well here. Chapter 6 talks about API layer. Chapter 5 talks about web applications. And chapter 3 talks about network level or network ports level testing. So if you see, that's the coverage I have in this master class for security testing, right? And though it looks pretty simple for me to say from a table of contents perspective, this is going to take at least nothing less than some 28 to 30 classes. Each class is of 1 hour duration. Let me also help you understand the course, the course content, how it looks like. Yeah. So this is the Google Drive that I'm going to share access with all the participants. So this is the training material folder and some interview questions and answers. And so you have the multiple choice, some common interview questions, pre-assessment questions, and sample resumes that you can use. And the detailed notes is available here. So this is the major document that you are going to follow throughout the course. Let me quickly show you how this notes is structured. And you're going to see a little framework that I have done on Excel sheet that you can use it. So this is a detailed notes that I have prepared. This is pretty much exhaustive. I think maybe around more than 100 pages notes. It has the prerequisite information as well. Overall 150 pages notes. And let me show you how the, yeah. So this is where the top 10 OWASP vulnerabilities are explained. So I have written the notes in the previous batches. So every batch I make a lot of notes and I make it little neat and organized so that the next batch benefits it. So you can see the diagrammatical understanding about the first vulnerability. So here, if you see, I'm talking about one of the vulnerabilities, first vulnerability. This is a theory related to it, which you can go through, and some diagrammatical representation to understand it. And how do you prevent this vulnerability in case if you're talking to developer? That info is also there. And how do you do that? Like, what is the practical way to do penetration testing? So this is the notes I have. These are the target applications and what are the steps you have to follow to do it. So I've written everything here. So for every vulnerability, I have the detailed notes here. Right? I'll just quickly scroll down to help you understand how neatly the notes has been organized. Let's quickly go to some bottom. Yeah, so this is one of the juice-top applications for which we're going to crack it. SQL injection attacks. So whatever I teach in the course, the same thing is there available here as well. And coming to the framework that I have designed, this I shouldn't be calling it as a framework, but yeah. So what is the checklist that you have to follow in your projects, right? So these are the high-level smoke testing checklists that you have to follow while doing security testing, right? Because when someone says, okay, have you completed security testing? Can I get a quick checklist of what you have done? So you can see here a couple of things that I have listed here, right? So whatever I do for my clients, I keep updating this list, irrespective of whether I teach everything or not, right? Because everything is not possible from a teaching perspective. Certain things come outside the scope as well, but the notes is available here, right? So you can see here the top 10 security risk. You can see the black box test cases here, code deobfuscation process that we have done, the testing tools that are available in the market, and then something else that I have done for one of my other customers. Like if you have web services, how your security testing has to be attempted. All those things are present here. So you have a clear roadmap of everything, how it can be done. Okay. So this is what I have, guys, from a demo perspective, a very quick short demo and a sweet demo I wanted to have. But I would focus on more questions in this demo. If you have any, like Srini had some questions, Satya had some questions. Do you guys have any questions for me that I can answer? Please go ahead, Srini.
I have a couple of them actually. You covered about Android testing actually, but will you be able to cover at least the concepts of iOS testing as well?
Yes, from a vulnerability assessment perspective, meaning from a scanning level perspective, the answer is yes.
Okay, the other question is, the AI is, I don't want to discourage a lot of people here. AI is ramping out very quickly. Will you take any class on how AI is going to help us from the security perspective, as well as any tools that we might look for future, like to learn and get ourselves ready from the pen testing or security testing perspective?
Certainly, yes. See, again, when it comes to the evolution of AI from a security testing perspective, it is mostly dependent on the tool, right? So most of the tools, they adopt AI in their tools, right? Either they use ChatGPT plugin or Gemini plugin or some other open source plugin, embed it into their automation tool. So depending on the tool you pick up, the answer is yes and sometimes no. If I talk about Burp Suite in the community edition, which is a free edition, we don't have the AI plugin available. But in the enterprise edition, which comes at a cost, which is like a few lakhs per user per annum, we have the AI plugin made available, right? So AI is definitely there in security testing as well. But again, depending upon the tool that you have picked up.
Okay, so the extension for the second question would be, you mentioned about all the generation AI or generative AI plugins, but from the security or security testing perspective, are there any specific AI tools? I mean, it is not mandatory, but with your experience, from your experience or from your knowledge, do you see any specific AI tool that can help us with the penetration testing or security testing, apart from the generative AI tools are in the market? And are you going to cover any of those kind of tools?
So there is a tool called Pynt, Pynt. So this tool, I mean, it's a startup organization from one of the European countries. It's been in the industry for more than 2 years now. I attend a lot of webinars and some meetups organized by the CEO of the company. It's a very startup organization. So they do have an AI component for security testing, and the tool name is Pynt. So this is of their official website. If you explore more on this website, I'm sure you will get an answer. This is one such tool. You can integrate this with your Postman as well, with Jenkins as well, with GitHub as well, to get your vulnerabilities on the fly. Right, with zero efforts from your side, you'll be able to do that.
Got it. Thank you.
Again, there is no end to the number of tools that are available, but the tools wherein I have practically went inside and did little bit of research, only those tools I'm kind of telling in this course. But otherwise, I can obviously go back and explore so many other tools. When we have time, definitely we have to do that to ensure that our productivity increases for the customers. Okay. Any other questions, Srini, or from the rest of the crew?
I'm sorry, Kiran. I'm sorry, the group. I might be asking too many questions because I've been through a lot of programs, but I got dropped off because the way they teach and the curriculum that they are covering. I have one big question around, let's say, will you be able to help this group with how do we get into security testing consulting, or with any like job references or something like that?
Job reference, definitely no. Nothing from my side, but you can contact Isha Training Solutions if they have any answer for your question. And when you say consulting, what do you mean by that? Like, you mean if you become a consultant, how do you approach the solution to a problem statement, or you're talking about again job assistance related consulting?
No, it's a third way. Like myself, when I get trained as a security tester or pen tester, my idea is to approach clients, because not everyone have their own security department in the company. Even though they'll only have SOCs and other departments, not the pen testing group. So my idea is to approach clients to get a contract from them, a short-term contract to evaluate their applications and give them the report. So how do I do that? How do I approach? If you have any experience on that, if you can cover on that, that would help me out a lot. So that's what I was talking about.
Oh yeah, that I can do that. That's not a problem, because I consult a lot of corporates, right? And when I approach them, I give them a flyer, a 2-page flyer or a 10-page flyer to help them understand the services I provide, right? And when they say, okay, can you show us a POC? Then I say, okay, give me one of your web-based application pointing to testing environment. And then I just go ahead and give them a couple of vulnerabilities, maybe 3 vulnerabilities on the fly in 5 minutes, right? So that's when they understand, okay, he's showing us something on the fly. So maybe if we have him onboarded for 1 month, maybe he can help us do some 30% of security testing for most of the applications, right? And eventually every company goes through an external auditor for sure, no matter how much they have a consultant internally, because
Yeah.
Srini cannot certify it, right? Because you or I don't own an organization and then say, okay, we certify your application from security perspective.
Yeah.
Because when you certify it, the certificate is valid for 1 year, which means that project, when it goes on production, no vulnerabilities will be detected based on the report you have suggested. Right. So consulting, yes, you will be able to, not only you, anyone in this course, right? I can give you that confidence that you can work as an independent freelancer or as a consultant or as an employee in an organization, because this course is not theory. This course is practical. And that is the reason, if all of you observe the content, and you see this content was redefined by me a couple of weeks back, because I always believe in changing things again and again based on the feedback I get, based on certain things my common sense suggests to me, right? So here you see setup of vulnerable applications. If it's theory, why should I set it up, right? And then you see the practical hands-on here for Nmap tool. Again, you see Bob Suite tool. When you're installing it, it means something is going to happen practically. And one chapter is dedicated. This chapter itself will take 10 classes for us, chapter 5. Right? Again, this will take another 3 classes, which itself is practical again. This will take another 2 classes. This will take probably 1 class. Everything in hands-on. If you see, I have removed most of the theory in all the chapters. Earlier, we had more than 8 chapters, guys, to be honest. I had like 10 chapters. I have removed myself 2 chapters because there are theory topics present on the top at chapter 1, and most of the participants always they come with basic prerequisite understanding. So I thought, why should I invest 3 classes on theory, rather convert those 3 classes into practical so that people get more understanding. That's a constructive feedback I took for myself, and I'm giving the benefit to the participants. So coming to the straight answer that Srini had, all of you, including Srini, will get that practical exposure on how to go about for security testing with confidence, right? And if you say, will I be able to find vulnerabilities? The answer is definitely yes. But if the question is, can you quantify it? Probably I can say 10 vulnerabilities you can find on your own. But what if someone challenges you to find 20, 30, 40, 50? That's when your brain has to function more like an ethical hacker. And that ethical hacking thinking is what our course is all about. Because practically, when I'm exploiting, you will understand, okay, this is how my thinking should be. This is how a difference will be between a manual tester and a security tester. Right? You'll get all that thinking process here because I'm going in a practical direction. Okay, so that's the answer, Srini, for your question.
Thank you, Kiran.
Hi,
Again, I
Kiran.
welcome questions from others.
Yeah,
Yes,
hi.
Satya, go ahead.
Again, like the question is related to like difference between other testings, like ethical hacking. You mentioned that ethical hacking is something is superset of this course. I think it's my understanding. So is it or anything you can add?
Okay, so let me rephrase the question. So your question is like, do we do something related to ethical hacking?
Yes.
Okay, the answer is yes. I'll tell you how also. See, when I said I'm teaching security testing, it is same as ethical hacking. There is no big difference. So the key difference is in hacking, there are 2 terminologies, ethical hacking and unethical hacking. Ethical hacking is all about you finding the vulnerabilities for a digital application in a responsible manner and sharing these discovered vulnerabilities with the company, with the customer, with the client, wherein you're very optimistic in nature. You're not threatening them. You're telling them, okay, Kiran, on your website, I found these problems. So this is the list I'm sharing with you. Please go ahead and fix it for yourself. So you did something good for me, for my organization. That's ethical hacking. Second definition of ethical hacking is you will say, hey, Kiran, I found 20 vulnerabilities on your application. Here are the top 5. I'm giving it to you for free. So please go ahead and fix it. If you are convinced that the first 5 is really valid and makes sense to your business, and if you're happy with it, I will give you the remaining 15 to you, but at a price. So you will say, okay, you have to pay me $10 per vulnerability. So 15 vulnerabilities into $10. So $150 if you pay me, Kiran, I will give you the details of the remaining 15 vulnerabilities, because this is how you also make business. And you are not straightly asking for it. You gave something free, remaining you say, if you're interested, pay, I will share. If you're not interested, it's okay, I will not share. At the same time, I won't put it on the dark web, meaning I won't make it viral in the internet that your company or your website or your business is vulnerable for 15 attacks. You are forgetting the matter then and there itself. So you're not harming me and my business. That's ethical hacking. The opposite of ethical hacking is unethical hacking, where you can threaten me as well using an anonymous email ID that, hey, I found 20 vulnerabilities. One vulnerability I'm telling you, remaining 19, if you don't, come into a business deal with me, I might put this for sale on the dark internet, on the dark web. When I say dark web, it's typically a separate internet used by hackers. And dark web is never ethical, and dark web is illegal as well, because a lot of criminal activities do happen there. So a person who gets into dark web and selling these 15 vulnerabilities for some cost, because Kiran said, no, I cannot pay you $150. So Satya went to dark web and you put 15 vulnerabilities for sale on abcd.com website. So Srini will contact you and says, okay, Satya, I cannot pay you $150, but I'll pay you $100. Are you okay? Satya says, okay, fine. So you get $100. All the 15 vulnerabilities you will transfer to Srini. So Srini has the document. Now Srini can sell it again on the same dark web for $150 using his influence, or he can contact me and says, Kiran, I found this from some other guy, but I cannot name him. But now your vulnerabilities are known to 2 people because there is a sale happening on the dark web. Now Kiran might say, okay, Srini, share me those vulnerabilities, I'll pay you. But Srini says you have to pay me 300. Now Satya cannot sell for 150 because Satya lost the right to talk to Kiran again because you sold it to Srini. So these kind of practices happening on the dark web is called as unethical hacking. So what is the difference? It's your mindset only. Same vulnerabilities. If you come and tell me happily without expecting anything in return, even if I don't want to pay you, that's ethical hacking. But if you think otherwise, it's unethical hacking. So it's just a hero and villain character. So in this course, there is nothing that I should say I'm teaching you ethical hacking or unethical hacking. I'm here to share my knowledge with you, which means I'm sharing every vulnerability that I find during the course. So it's obviously ethical hacking. And it's nothing but security testing, I would say. It's nothing but vulnerability assessment, nothing but penetration testing. And this training is for educational purpose, not to train you in such a way that you become the villain tomorrow, right? Because cybersecurity is so huge that even I am not aware of the entire spectrum of cybersecurity. Whatever I'm teaching, probably I'm good only in that area. Cybersecurity for cloud, I'm not good. Cybersecurity for operating system, mobile devices, I'm not good because I haven't ventured into that area yet. I hope that answers your question, Satya. Okay, Kwesi, you can go ahead. Looks like you have a question.
Hi, Kieran. Sorry, I missed the first 5 minutes of the call, so you may have answered my question already. It was just around the prerequisites. So I'm coming from a predominantly manual testing background. So you mentioned that you adapted the course because you have some or most of your students already had a little bit of understanding around security testing. So I'm a complete novice. Is the course still valuable for me?
Okay, let me answer this. So the prerequisites for this course is basic understanding of APIs, manual testing, and then understanding about HTTP methods like get, post, put, patch, delete, and the basic understanding of HTTP, HTTPS protocols. That's it, nothing much beyond this. And since Kwesi, you come from normal testing background, I think most of it is already covered in your current job role. So probably you are a fit. I mean, you can think you have met the prerequisite criteria.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Sure. And the detailed information about prerequisites is also available on the website. So here it is. I'll give it on the chat. I will also give you one more time the URL of this website where the course curriculum is made available. It's our website. You can also go through this. Okay, Arnab, please go ahead.
Yeah, hi Kiran. Actually, my question is that in my company, the research for the OL start for the performance testing or observing the traffic. Are you
One
going
Guys, 1 second.
Okay.
Arnab, I'm getting a lot of disturbance. Can you please on it?
Yeah, actually, are you going to give any OL start things?
1 second. I'm sorry.
OL start.
May I request everyone to go on mute? May I request everyone to go on mute? Yeah, I think Arnab, the noise is from your side. I'm having difficulty hearing you.
Okay, tomorrow I will.
Can you chat? Can you chat here, please? Because there is a lot of noise and I had difficulty hearing you at all. Okay, while we wait for Arnab's question, others feel free to go ahead with your questions.
Kiran, I have another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You mentioned that the certificate is 1 year validity. So does it how that is possible? I would like to know that.
Okay. The certificate I mentioned is when an external company does an audit for a service-based company, their certificate is valid for 1 year. I'm saying it's
Okay.
not about your certification. Your certification that you have passed security exam, that's lifelong valid.
Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions, guys? Arnab, I hope I have an answer for your question. Again, unfortunately, I'm sorry, we are not covering Wireshark in this course.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions from other participants?
Hi, this is Tirupati. Is there any chance to we can postpone call class to 9 to 10 or 7 to 6 kind of timings?
No, Tirupati. Because like I said, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. I have another batch already running. And the only slot available for me and for most of the participants, right? Everyone preferred this slot, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. So we are going with this slot, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Okay.
Any other questions from anyone else? Okay, if there are no questions, thank you very much for your time today. I hope you have got some information about what we are covering in this course. Should you have any further questions, feel free to post a message on the chat on the WhatsApp group as well. I'll be happy to assist you guys. Again, I sincerely appreciate all your time spending with me today to understand this. Your time is precious and I appreciate you guys spending your time. Thank you very much. You guys take care, stay safe. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.